And hello and good morning. I'm David Bowles. This is Bowles.tv, BOLES.tv, television. Hey, still have the echo. I don't know why. I thought maybe it'd be solved. I tried to solve it over the weekend by doing some tests on inputs and outputs and audios, this and that, and I have no idea why there's an echo. If we were doing an interview or we were, chatting with our Discord people, I would be fine with it. But if I'm just sitting here talking to myself, there's no reason to put myself through the pain of not understanding why things are working. Now, is our CloudBot working? I'm going to find out. No, it still says Streamlabs. It's supposed to say BowlesBot. So I have to turn off the CloudBot. Now, I thought everything was really going well. And then yesterday, I decided that I would be proactive and stream this stream in higher definition. Record it locally here at a good resolution. But when we broadcast, it gets cut down a little bit, and then when it gets uploaded to VOD, it's chalky and not very good looking. The reason we don't always, try to stream in this high definition is because we are not a partner yet on Twitch. If we get more subscribers, more viewers, more people chatting, then we'll become a partner. I'm convinced of it because our content is very good, especially on the weekends with Jan Marie. It's very different. But we are an affiliate. Now, if you are a partner, you get priority access to the ingest servers on Twitch, which means you get to stream high definition and it's guaranteed. Now, if you're a low-level affiliate like us, you can ask to be ingested at high definition, but it's not guaranteed. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. They're going to put you on, the Twitch people, with whatever they feel they want to put you on. And so you get downgraded. But if you're already broadcasting a slightly downgraded signal, what difference does it make? But when we stream, which is 9 a.m. Monday through Friday, at 9 a.m. Eastern, except for tomorrow. Tomorrow we're off. Back on Wednesday. There are not a lot of people really streaming right now. Now in the afternoons at 3 p.m. Eastern and at night 7 p.m. Eastern, that's when everybody's on. But right now, not a lot of people are on. So I'm thinking now, after 9 months of doing this stream, maybe I'll just stream at the highest possible resolution that is allowed by law and man, and see if we can get a better picture. So I'm looking at myself on the television. I do look a little bit more beautiful today. The haircut went well. We're now, after a week or two, into the slight sort of gel mud stage, which looks better. It's not quite so fuzzy. I look a little more professional. Now, we still don't know. This is a teal green shirt, and on this live stream, it appears blue. Now, when Jana Marie sits there on the weekends, all her colors match. Skin is the right tone, her hair is the right tone, her hands, everything looks the right color. When I sit here, all the colors are off. My face is not usually this ruddy, reddish. My neck is very white. I don't know why. None of it makes sense. It's probably some color balance thing, but I'm not going to mess with it because in just upgrading our stream to high definition, I messed up, for some reason, I don't know why, the audio on this stream. So I've learned, check your audio to see everything is bouncing on the meters in Streamlabs. And everything was fine in Elgato, headphones. And I noticed right before we started to go live that I had no audio. The music's playing, my microphone is working. In Streamlabs, there's no sound. So I thought, I don't want to restart everything. I don't want to start from scratch. I'll just delete all the audio inputs and then go back into settings and reestablish all of our inputs and then the microphone. And that should, if I just do that, work. I should not even have to restart Streamlabs. It should just start working as inspired and directed. And so far, it seems like it worked okay. But why, when you change that setting, does it remove all your audio inputs to go high definition? And yet in your mixer in Streamlabs, they're still there, even though they don't work. I don't understand it, and I'm not sure I ever will understand it. And that's okay. Well, we had a rough weekend here on the East Coast. Very hot temperatures, people sweltering. It's slightly better today. Hey, it's Dora, artist Dora. Good morning. I thought I had patience. But the crown goes to you. If you're talking about my technical problems, makes sense to me. And I probably talk about it a little too often here, but it's always a danger if we're going to be going live or not. I don't know. I press a button and we see what happens. Now, I don't know how these other professional streamers, stream for 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hours in a row. Yes, technical problems. Dora says, hey, Commissioner Gordon, checking in from Florida. Good schmorkins. Did you see someone tried creating an NFT of the famous falling man image from September 11? No, I don't know what you're talking about. But you'll have to give us a link. Yes, I saw that. Terrible. Everybody knows everything but me. I'm totally out of it. Well, I see our graphics, if we can call them graphics, on the main stream look really sharper. So maybe, yeah, they look really better. So I guess streaming in high definition is better. We're not losing any frames. Our upload is good. We're at 60 frames per second. Our CPU usage is 1.4%, which is fabulous. As I've said many times before, when we were on iMac streaming, our CPU usage was 75% continually, and everything was still choppy. So, I guess there's an NFT floating around out there. Is it stealing our inspiration? Nobody knows. We hope to find out. So right now it is, let's see, I'm checking 84 degrees and sunny skies in New York City, which is better than 94, which is what it has been. And tomorrow doesn't look bad either. Oh, here we go. Business Insider. Love that website. Oh, the GameStop thing. I heard about it, but I didn't check it because, the whole GameStop fiasco is sort of disconcerting to me as a human being. Now I have to go into the right browser instead of that browser and do this and then that. Dora says, cloudy where I am, perfect for me. Well, that's very good because you're in a bit of a hot box. Here's the story Gordon said. GameStop's NFT marketplace appears to remove an image that referenced a defining moment of the 9/11 attacks. Moved an image. Web3. Is the image there? The artwork's creator, Jules, had been selling 2 versions of Falling Man. Cheapest listed at 0.65 Ethereum or about $1,000. Well, that's very interesting and unfortunate. Oh, yikes. Yeah, that was a terrible day. And I remember the firemen going into the buildings, and they would hear these slams of people. But they didn't know it was people. They said, what is that sound? And finally they figured out it was people jumping to their deaths. But there was research saying that, rats, not saying that people are rats, but people, rats, if there's fire, to get away from it, they will prefer to jump to their deaths than to die in a fire. It's some sort of instinct survival. Chris says, I saw both planes fly into the building. Oh no. Were you working or were you at home? Oh, that was a terrible day. And the thing that people don't really realize. Oh gosh, this whole article has everybody falling. Yes, working. Oh my gosh. Well, we know what area you're working, and must have had a terrible, tremendous view of that day. And did everybody drop and run home, or they tell you to just stay where you were? That's very scary. Oh my gosh, I keep scrolling. This image keeps going up. Boy, this is an interesting story from Esquire. But the thing that people don't realize is the terrible, terrible smell of all those burning bodies and jet fuel, and you could smell it for miles away, and it's a smell you'll never forget. In a meeting, 3:38, I left and saw a second plane and walked down 34 and 4s. Wow, that is really, really terrifying. It's a story that you live, but that you probably don't want to readily share with people. It's very sad. Saw a plane right in front of our window. Oh boy, that must have been really terrifying. It was shocking. You just couldn't believe it was happening. We happened to be home. We saw it all unfold on television, luckily. Then went outside and you could see it burning. Just unbelievable. And we went to a bridge nearby so we could get a clearer view into the city. And some guy from the street came up to us and said, I wish I could have seen the planes hit. I missed it. And he was genuinely disappointed. And we just kind of, looked at him. Didn't smile. There's the link to this amazing article with all those photographs. And yes, like Jana before me, I am typing on the side. My keyboard is over here. Because my keyboard should be here, but my microphone is here. So we have weird typing configurations. Trying to figure out what's going on. So that's interesting. Now, if the original photographer had made these and sold these as exclusive NFTs, would that be all right? It seems the image was more about it being a stolen image, or was it the topic of the image? Because as we just saw, that it's there in the record. You can very easily do an unfortunate search on the internet and find all those terrible photographs. I have a photograph that was also very interesting on sort of the same topic. Gordon says, just poor taste. Okay. And Dora says, fly right in front of my window. My hours changed from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. that week due to my son starting high school. Otherwise, I would have been caught right when both planes hit. Oh, boy. Poor taste, Dora says. And Gordon says, imagine someone made an NFT of the text of the protocols of the Elders of Zion. I don't even know what that is, but it doesn't sound very good. Oh, now I can't find what I'm looking for. There's a sculpture that I have was a memorial to 9/11. That infuriated people. Let me see if I can find it. Interesting. Oh, here we go. Shares. Holocaust Encyclopedia. Protocols of the Elders of Zion. The Protocols of the Elders of Zion is the most notorious and widely distributed anti-Semitic publication of modern times. Oh boy. It lies about Jews, which have been repeatedly discredited, continue to circulate today, especially on the internet. The individuals and groups who have used the protocols are all linked by a common purpose to spread hatred of Jews. Youch. If ever a piece of writing could produce mass hatred, this is the one. This book is about the lies and slander. Elie Wiesel, Nobel Peace Prize laureate. Well, I don't want to look at that. I don't want to know anything about it. If it's about hatred, no thank you. Trying to figure out where that photograph is of person. But anyway, that's very interesting and very sad. Now, we won't talk about that yet. We'll talk about this first. There's a new game in town that is completely and totally delightful. Our high definition is looking very good on the big TV. How's it looking? Yep. Okay. It's called Stray. And it's a beautifully designed game. And if you want to play it, it's like $30 to buy. It's on Steam. You can have 3 separate games going at the same time. So if you want to play one game and someone else plays another game, someone else plays another game. Oh, here we go. Gordon says, oh my goodness. Malka is obsessed with it. Artist Dora says, I've heard about it. It would be a fun game to play, really, live stream. But I see people play it on their live stream. I don't know how they get away with it because they're also playing the music. So maybe they're just live streaming and they don't care what happens about getting copyright hits or getting it removed from video on demand. I don't know. Commissioner Gordon says she wants it. Elizabeth says it's too much for a game. I hope it goes on sale soon. Well, that's interesting. In the Steam store, it's one of the cheapest games out there. At like $30. Most of the other games are like $50 or $60. So I thought it was a steal. And as I have told Jana Marie, this is, in my opinion, a deaf game. Because you're a cat and you don't talk. You meow every once in a while. But it's all visual. Genius idea using cats. Absolutely genius. And you have to look around. And if you speak to robots, which I guess are people, everything that they say is typed to you. I'm not there yet. I've only played for about an hour and I'm barely into the game. I don't have that little backpack thing yet. I'm still trying to get, I guess, into the city. And you have to think like a cat. Well, I can't get up there, so how do I get over there? What do I need to move? What do I need to roll so I can jump from here to there? And the one thing I figured out, which is a little tiny tip, is it tells you early on if you want to meow, hit your left Alt key. So I'm just meowing because I enjoy meowing, because I'm all by myself and I'm meow, meow, meow. Figured out is when you meow, you get a light cue from the world, because the world is kind of, directing you where to go. And so follow this, go here, there's an arrow up, a string of lights. So if you meow, meow, and then look around, you get a visual cue of where you're supposed to go, because you're meowing alone because you're lost. And the world will help you. Meow. Okay, string of lights go that way. Okay, so I got to get over there, and I got to go this way and around that way, and over and jump to get over there. So it's extremely immersive. Sometimes slightly frustrating because you can't figure out how to get from here because you can't do it. I'll share an early secret of the game. There's a point where, and if you have to do something, you have to interact, the game will tell you, press your Q button, and then you interact with something or get a response from somebody. So, and if you don't have a language, if you don't speak English, you can still figure out this game. And you have to pick up buckets. Okay, so that's my only interaction in this game. So I'm in this area of the game. So I'm picking up a bucket. What am I supposed to do with this bucket? So I have to put it up on the ledge, I guess. So I go put it up on the ledge, and there's dripping water. And you earlier drank some water. So I think, okay, fill my bucket to drink water. But it's not, the bucket's there. You can nudge the bucket. The bucket's not picking up the water. Okay, so that's not it. And then I realized, well, there are 3 more buckets. Damn thing. So I bring up all 4 buckets. I'm sitting there, nothing's happening. I'm locked in this room. And I don't know where to go, and I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm meowing. And I'm not getting any help. I finally figure out that I only need 1 bucket, and I have to take the bucket down this slant thing and leave my bucket in the path of this spinning fan, and then the bucket stops the fan, and I can walk through. Yeah. And I'm in my next area. Now, that took me a while to pick up every single bucket and place it under every single dropping water to figure out that's not it. So I don't know how the kitty gets the backpack. I have no robot friends. I was very terrified when I started getting attacked by these things that are on the ground that are red. And I have to run from them, and I have to shake them off. And that took me a long time to figure out, too. That was very scary for me as a cat lover. But sometimes I just sit, I go into a new room, and the cat just sits, and we look around, and we see what's up there. How did they design that? It's absolutely beautiful. The obsession is real and necessary. And if there are any young children within the sound of my voice, go pester your mother and demand it right now. It will make you very happy. Oh my goodness, we talked about World Trade Center, we talked about Stray. We didn't even get to our movies over the weekend, but now it's time for our very first blood pressure break. And I try to time these so our ads run while I'm away. We will return in a moment. And we are back from break here on Bowles TV, BOLES.TV, television, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. I'm David Bowles. Thank you for being here. Hey, when we went away, little conversation. Gordon says she's watching her favorite YouTube player play with fidget spinners. Dora asked Gordon, how old is Malka? My great nieces would watch YouTube toy reviews, and I am reminded that it's not Malka, which is how we would pronounce it in the great state of Nebraska. It is Malka, as in M-A-L-L. And that reminds me of that wonderful conversation I had with Jan Marie, where she was watching the show via closed captions, and she said, why are you and Gordon talking about the mall? I said, we weren't talking about the mall. We're talking about his daughter. His daughter's name is Malka, M-A-L-L, as in a mall. But what was going on with the mall? There was no mall. Gordon was teaching me how to pronounce his daughter's name. And she said, that's how you're hearing people do it? I said, yeah. Sounds like this, Malka, as in mall, the mall. Who's on first? And Gordon says, Malka is 8. Thumbs up from Dora. Gordon says, Chaim just taught me that most crustaceans are scavengers and therefore omnivores. Who's on first? Well, I hope that the Dave Disco household in Florida will soon have a stray in the home. It will make all children smarter, better, joyous human beings, and will guarantee a long and happy life. And I discovered the game because there's a streamer that I watch who is on early in the morning. He starts like 3 a.m. our time. His name is Dennis3D. I believe he's in Poland. And he's a designer for Grand Theft Auto. So I love to watch his stream because he goes in there, takes us inside as he fixes things. He has a list of things. I have to fix the slide at the UA Cafe. I have to go install a park bench. So we go in with him and we see how he, puts the rope on the bench and makes the bench look like a bench. But lately, he's not been doing that. He has been obsessed with playing Stray. And it's great because he talks to us the whole time in his crazy heavy accent. And he moves this cat around. And he's very good at the game. And he's infatuated with it. So I thought, well, I got to figure that out. That's fun. And I did. And I'm very happy I did. Well, we're talking about the terrible NFT memes of people falling, World Trade Center. I found what I was looking for. Isn't that a famous song? Somewhere. And I even wrote an article about it. And look, here's a cat. This is one of my cats, one of my new NFT cats. In December 2008, I wrote this article for BowlesBlogs.com. The World Trade Center falling on your head meme. Gordon says, oh, the new issue of Sports Illustrated for Kids has an advertisement for meat. Yuck. Which features a young woman who is, of course, an athlete. I grew up on my family's farm in Nebraska. It's not for everyone. Which literally fueled my athletic career. Her name is Lee Jenke, and she grew up on a farm in Nebraska and graduated from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, not at Lincoln. I was always taught to say at Lincoln. And one of the administrators said, you don't even know the name of your school, do you? And I didn't. It's Dash Lincoln, with medical school ambition. It's unfortunate. So here's the article that I wrote, The World Trade Center Falling on Your Head meme, which I found outrageous and outlandish. And this is a sculpture dedicated to the people who died on 9/11, if you can believe it. The sculpture you see below was created to honor those of the airplane bombing September 11. The fact, as we saw, that many people leapt out of the burning buildings to escape the fire so quickly find their deaths was lost on the artist. So if you thought the NFT was tasteless, wait till you see this sculpture. This tasteless piece of art was quickly removed from public view, and we hope found an early grave in the hard earth where it belongs. We hope the falling on your head meme doesn't get a malicious propagation that will live in infamy, but sometimes revealing a known truth that is ugly and cruel can prove to quiet a future attempt at reinfecting the mainstream mindset. And Dora says, yuck. Oh, so gross. And if there are any small children in the sound of my voice, Stray is a wonderful game. And I encourage you to browbeat your parents until they submit. It'll be good for you and better for them, because you'll leave them alone all day. Gordon says, I remember reading that article. Also, I emailed you a photo of that ad. I'll have to look for that photo because the whole thing is cringe. But I guess people choose to remember things in other ways. Well, over the weekend, Jen Marie and I watched a movie called The Gray Man. It was on Netflix. And I thought it was rather interesting. Some of the criticism has been vicious. And I'm not sure why. Dora says, I love Tomb Raider. It's the only video game I've ever played. I only played games on, I guess, my Windows PC. On Mac, there was never really a game that interested me. Now that I have a Windows machine again, I discovered I had one other game on my Steam account, and it was Half-Life 2, which I really loved. Beautifully designed game and terrifying. Gordon says, you should try Tetris, especially if anything unpleasant ever happens to you. Good game to play right after the event. That's a good point. And I never got into Xbox, never got a PS5, whatever that's called, PlayStation. I don't know, it never interested me. But most people I know, that's all they do is play those kind of video games. I like video games on my desktop. I don't want to have a controller. I just like my mouse and my keyboard. But even this Stray says you should have a controller to play the game. But I don't, and it's fine. Uh-oh, Gordon is giving me a link. Is it going to work or is it not going to work? Oh, it did work. Playing Tetris after trauma may reduce bad flashbacks. That's interesting. There goes one ugly URL. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to work because it, stopped. It being a hot link, but it worked. Playing the video game Tetris. And you can play Tetris on your phone, too. Interesting game. Fun. Love that. So I loved playing Doom when it first came out, the original Doom. So maybe I'll get back into playing video games. I don't know. The Stray thing that's the kind of game I like. The other game we talked about last week, Madison. Beautifully designed, but the end is so ungratifying. Would not pay money for that game. That's an expensive game. But I read someone wrote a review of Stray, and this woman said she sat down and played the game for 10 hours straight, finished the game, whatever that means, and she was so excited because that meant she could go back and restart it and play it all over again. So I like that it has value beyond just playing it once. Artist Dora says, I don't want to start playing any games on my phone, afraid I'd become obsessed. That's exactly part of it. And that's sort of why I'm not even trying to play a Grand Theft Auto, because I know myself. And it's if I start playing that game, I will play it all day and at night and enjoy myself. And I have lots of things I have to do that are not enjoyable. But it is an obsession. And I admit with this cat game, it's very demanding because you have to pay attention. You have to figure things out. So I can play the Stray game maybe like half an hour at a time. And then it's like, I've had enough. I've seen enough. That's enough. And so I take a break. And then I come back the next day. So far I'm managing my Stray cat obsession to the best of my ability. So The Gray Man, I guess, is a $200 million movie that is on Netflix, and people are just tanking it. As you can see there, out of 10 stars, the average is 6.6. I gave it a full 10. I thought it was very delightful and enjoyable. I thought Ryan Gosling was terrific in what was admittedly kind of a stupid show, but technically it was very good. Chris Evans is wonderful and awful at the same time because he's a bad guy. There are several what I would call cinematic drone shots where you're flying through things blowing up and exploding, going up and down. And it's definitely on a drone, but I don't know how I guess it's a digital camera drone, but it matches perfectly. What's it about? The synopsis. Well, when the CIA's most skilled operative Robert Julie identity undercovers dark agency secrets, it's very Jason Bourne-like. Yeah, in a nutshell. Where you have numbers 4, 6, and you're an assassin. They pull you out of prison to go kill people for the government. So Chris Evans is hired to kill the guy before him. And when he does, before that guy dies, he gives him a secret thing that has encrypted data that implicates, I guess, the CIA or the government in crimes. And that's why 6 was sent to kill 4. And 4 says, hey, 6, you're next. And he is next. And he's hunted for 2 hours by Chris Evans, who does a wonderful job. He plays the crazy, terrible person very well. He played it in Knives Out, and he sort of plays it all over again in Gray Man. And Billy Bob Thornton is in it. Excellent. Ryan Gosling is, I find, a very interesting actor. And he's in the new Barbie movie, right? And he was in the Blade Runner remake. So he has a wide range of very deep talents. Unlike the guy who is sort of always mistaken for him, and I can't remember his name right now, who does the Mint Mobile ads and is, Daredevil? Not Daredevil. Deadpool. That guy. They get confused with each other all the time. But the Deadpool guy is always the same in every movie. Same delivery, same personality. Ryan is a different person in every movie. Sounds like The Prisoner. Yeah, it sounds like every movie that's ever been made. But what sets this apart for me was the acting. So here's Ryan, terrific. Chris Evans, very good. Now, we like her a lot. She was in the new 007 movie, Ana de Armas. I believe she married. She dated, I think, Ben Affleck for a while before he then reunited and married J-Lo. She's very interesting. She has a very interesting accent, and you think she's French, but she's not. She's Argentinian, I believe. There's Billy Bob, always very interesting, and this one he has a very interesting look. And, Alfred Woodard's in it. The acting was spectacularly good. But here's the person that I find most interesting. And she doesn't look like this anymore because she's older now. And she's very young. Her name is Julia Butters. And for 90% of the movie, she plays this scrying kid that they're trying to save. Because Ryan Gosling's mentor. It's been thrown out of the CIA, and he took in this young child who needed protection, and then Billy Bob gets killed, and then it becomes Ryan Gosling's responsibility to take care of her. So she's crying a lot in the movie, which is really unfortunate because she's the damsel in distress, 13-year-old girl. She's playing a 13-year-old girl. But the early scenes with Ryan, where she's a 13-year-old girl trying to pretend to be a 21-year-old girl and to be sexy and adult, really, really fantastic acting. So during the movie, I did a very rude thing, which I probably do too often. I picked up my phone and I wanted to look her up. I wanted to see what her name is because she looked very familiar to me. And she's done a lot. And I was asked by Jana Marie, "Are you bored already with the movie?" I said, "No, it's just the opposite. I want to know who this young actress is." So Julia Butters, and it turns out she's a young actress, made her fame in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino movie. And there she is. That's her. She's all grown. From this to this, she's all grown up. You don't even recognize her because she's old now. Now she's probably 15. Here's the cast talking about the movie. And so I did a little research, and Julia has a father who is an animator for Disney. Wow, cool. And then you keep reading, and her father was born in Kearney, Nebraska. Probably beef-fed and potato-hungry. So Julia Butters, and when you just see Julia Butters, if you're a South Park fan, everybody loves Butters. And you think, okay, well, now you understand it. She has a Midwestern father who works for Disney in California. And she is the child of the Midwest and of an artistic father. And she's absolutely fantastic. Stunningly, stunningly good. In the first 10 minutes. Then she's just, just a little bit boring because that's unfortunately the role they have her. And I guess this is her career so far, doing things. And she's really, really, really terrific. I can't get over how great she was. I should see if I can find photographs of her in the actual movie. Other photographs. Storyline quotes. Sometimes it's hard to find things. But I really don't understand. There seems to be great hatred for this movie, and I can't figure out why. Because it has good stars. The story, Jason Bourne, John Wick, what that genre? I don't understand where the anger is coming from. This is the bad guy, and he was a good bad guy. I mean, you look at that, and they're all superstars. They're fantastic actors. There's Billy. It was a wonderful movie. Well, we're going to take a quick break because I don't want to start this next one because we're going to get hit with commercials. But 50 years ago, Jesus Christ Superstar appeared on Broadway, and then 2 years later was made into a movie. And the Jana Marie and I watched the movie. For her, the first time, and for me, a revisitation of a very interesting experience. So we're going to talk about adaptation and religion and belief and business and show business when we return in a moment. And we are back from break. I'm David Bowles. This is Bowles.tv, BOLES.tv, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Now we're going to talk about a very interesting Broadway show, movie, revival, Jesus Christ Superstar. The very first musical collaboration between Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice, debuting on Broadway in 1970. So we're right after the riotous year 1969 and into the 70s. And as Carl Anderson said on a Today Show interview 6 years before he died of leukemia in 2004, Carl, who played Judas Iscariot in the movie and on Broadway and on national tour, said that Andrew Lloyd Webber also wrote Phantom, Cats, many other musicals, has never had a show where everything came together in such a spectacular, melodious way than it did on his very first show, Jesus Christ Superstar. And I completely agree with him. If Andrew Lloyd Webber never wrote another musical except Jesus Christ Superstar, he would be famous and probably, for some people, infamous for the rest of his life. But he went on and found massive success in more mainstream ways that were, I guess, more politically and religiously acceptable to the mainstream audience. So Jesus Christ Superstar appeared in 1970 on Broadway. It was a big hit, big controversy. The religious people who loved Jesus Christ did not love Jesus Christ Superstar. And we'll discuss a little bit of that, why. And then in 1972, thereabouts, they made the movie version of the stage version, and then it came out in 1973. So in 1973, when the movie came out, I was all of 8 years old. 7, 8 years old. And I remember people talking about it. You would go to the movie and you would be given a brochure that had high glossy photographs that you could take home with you. They used to do that in the movies. Sometimes it was free. Sometimes you paid, $6 to take home a souvenir. And I remember the album, the original Broadway album. Don't listen to the revival albums. Don't listen to the musical adaptation from the movie album. Go get the original Broadway recorded album if you want the true experience. It has better singing, and it was a 2-record set. And I confess, people my age, in the early 80s, memorize the soundtrack to Jesus Christ Superstar. Now today, the kids have it easy. You find the album, you stream it, you can sing for an hour and 45 minutes. But back then, you had to listen to one side, 30 minutes, flip over the album, second side, 30 minutes, get out the second disc, flip. It was a big experience and a big dedication to listen to the whole song. And for some reason, our local playhouse, the Lincoln Community Playhouse, was doing a production of Jesus Christ Superstar in the sort of late 70s, whenever it was available to regional theaters. And every star, actor, singer we had in town wanted to be in that show. And they got cast in that show because the Playhouse wanted to do a good version of it. And at that time, it was semi-controversial, had found success, but it was a blockbuster hit for the Playhouse. And at that time, I believe Bob Kerrey was the liberal Democrat governor of the great state of Nebraska. It's not for everyone. And so there wasn't much outrage. People just took it for what it was. You didn't like it, you didn't like it. If you liked it, you loved it. I loved the show then, I love the show now. And I was surprised when I found it on, it's on Amazon Prime and also on iTunes. And when I found it, I couldn't believe it was available, first of all. and the original version. But when I watched it with Jan Marie, who had never seen it before, I remembered all the songs. I remembered all the lyrics. I was singing along. It's that embedded into me. And the melody is right. The sound is right. The adaptation is what's interesting. Now, a bit of background. My beautiful wife, Jana Marie, was raised in a very religious but liberal household. Her brother is a minister at a local Baptist church right now today. Her older sister is a big believer in the blood of Jesus and that sort of protection. And Jana's mother was very deeply involved in church and interpreting for the deaf at the church. And so she was raised in that very strict religious consecration of belief. I had a very brief discussion with her mother one time before she passed about the Roman Catholic Church and Christendom. And I was very quickly told that Catholics are not Christians. And I didn't understand it then. I didn't understand it now. My beautiful Jana Marie has explained it to me many times. And I don't understand it. But I guess the idea is that if you believe in Jesus Christ as your Savior and as everything holy, you would not believe in a pope. And I've probably completely, totally misconstrued that, and that's nothing new for me. But I was very strictly told that some believe that Catholics are not Christians, even though they believe in Christ. Not a Christian. Miss Dora says, "What? Oh, yes, I remember reading that." So after Jana Marie saw the first version, because we're going to watch it again, when she saw the first of it, totally captioned, I asked her, I said, so what would your family think of this? Or more widely, what would people who believe, as your family has believed over the years, of this show? And she immediately told me a couple of interesting things. Three things bothered her. First, when the lepers and the cripples are asking Jesus to heal them, he doesn't heal them. He just sort of brushes them off because he's not interested in that anymore. In the movie, that bothered her. She wanted to see the healing. She was concerned with the way that Jesus went into the marketplace and tipped over everything and was yelling at the prostitutes and the money changers. This is not the way. She thought that was a little over the top. And the third thing that really bothered her was the fact that the movie did not show Christ rising from the dead. They saw his crucifixion, his 39 lashes by Pontius Pilate, but they did not show the resurrection. And all of those criticisms and thoughts are true and clear, and they all make sense. But now I'm going to get into this and explain why those things, in the way, the genius way, that Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice decided to tell this story, don't matter. So this is what we're talking about. This is Jesus Christ Superstar. This is the movie version of the stage version, directed by Norman Jewison. And the big cast is Ted Neely as Jesus Christ, the Superstar, Carl Anderson as Judas. This is him dancing in hell after he hanged himself and died. Yvonne Elliman playing the whore, Mary Magdalene. Not a secret. She was a prostitute. It's part of the story. Pontius Pilate. This is what he looks like now. Terrifying in the movie. Looks like a friendly old guy you'd love to meet today. Josh Marstell, playing King Herod. So you are the Christ, the great Jesus Christ? Prove to me that you're the Lord. Change my water into wine. Paul Thomas played Peter. Robert Lapone, Patti LuPone's brother, was also in it. Okay, so big show. Now, context matters. Decisions matter on how one decides to adapt a well-known story that has healing of lepers, rising from the dead. Okay, so the first thing we know is that the way that this story is told, it's a bunch of kids, right, getting onto a bus, driving into the middle of a desert in Israel. They unpack their bus because they're going to put on a show. They're going to tell the story of Jesus Christ as a play. So it's a play within a movie. And even better on Broadway, it's a play within a play. So there was a very wise and smart decision by the creators of the musical to only deal really with the last few days of the life of Jesus Christ. Artist Doris says, wow, Zero Mostel's son? I love Zero Mostel. And that movie made him a star. And speaking of stardom, Yvonne Elliman, Ted Neely, Carl Anderson, they were all typecast. Mary the whore, Jesus the Christ, Judas the betrayer. And they never really had a career outside of Jesus Christ Superstar. They were typecast. But it doesn't seem like it bothered them too much because they were in the Broadway show, they did the movie, they went on a national tour, they're okay. So they decided to tell this story very specifically, a story within a story. And we're not going to talk about the baby Jesus. We're not going to talk about the resurrection. We're not going to show him healing the disabled because we already know all that. We take all of those things as facts and evidence. Jesus Christ is a representation of God on earth. And another thing that bothered the Jana Marie, just theoretically, intellectually from her upbringing, is they kept saying in the movie, he's just a man. Prove to me who you are. And that bothered her, that he wasn't the Christ child walking on earth doing miracles. And I say, right. That is the point of that telling of the story. We see Jesus Christ's frustration with the people trying to be healed by him. And we're at the point now where he says many times, I'm 30 years plus 3 years I've been doing this. I'm 33. It's the end of my road. And all of these people now come to expect these things of me, and they're not interested in what I'm saying. They just want to be healed. They want this. I'm kind of over that now because I've moved on to what's coming next. And even in the lyrics, it's very smartly told, where they're sort of making the point that the 12 apostles, the 12 disciples, and they sing this, the apostles, when he's gone, we're going to be famous. We're going to be superstars too, because we're each going to write a book about him, that we knew him when he was on the earth, and we're going to have this wild success because of him. So right there you see, oh my goodness, it's already a business. The apostles are going to write about their experiences with the adult Christ child. So we don't need to see him healing. the disabled because we know he's already done it. And that's why they keep coming to him saying, King Herod says, turn my water into wine. Take my bread. Show me who you are. Perform for me. Monkey, right? Performing monkey. Jesus refuses. I'm not interested. I'll go back to Pilate and take my chances. And then that tableau they make at the Last Supper, we're in the garden. Jenna loved that. It was very beautifully done. And they just, for 1 second, as they establish the scene and they're all in their position, for just 1 second, they all freeze. And that's the painting. And then they go in and they do their thing. They continue the scene. And this is a story that is Judas's story. The Jesus Christ doesn't do a lot in the movie. He's just kind of there. Oh, I'm God's son, and I'm put upon, and I'll sing a little bit, but not too much. All the singing is done by Judas. And it's very interesting singing. He's accusing Mary, and he's accusing him, and you're not keeping your word, and you're spending all this money on oils and your comfort, and what about the poor? I was your right-hand man. What happened to you? I didn't change. You changed. The second most popular person in the movie is Mary Magdalene, played by Yvonne Elliman. She has a lot of singing, and she sings beautifully. So this is Judas's story, and it's very interesting, and Carl Anderson was terrific in the movie. Now, there are some people who don't know things and say, oh, yeah, sure. It's a black guy who betrayed Jesus Christ. Yeah, we knew it all along. Ugh. If you know the musical style, what they're going for, the movement, the dance, the stuff, it's beautifully done. And when Yvonne Elliman sings her very famous song, that is a super religious song from the musical, I Don't Know How to Love Him. He's a man, he's just a man. And these past few days, so she's falling in love with God on earth, and he seems to be very interested in her, and Judas is not happy about that either. And the most important moment in the movie is after Mary's sung her song, I Don't Know How to Love Him. He's just a guy that I met who seems to be very popular, and he's cute, right? That's the idea. She has a revelation, and Yvonne Elliman plays it so beautifully on stage, where she's having a conversation. She said, how did he know, Jesus Christ, how did he know before it happened that Judas was going to betray him? How did he know? And then the next thought in her mind is, and how did he know that Peter would deny him 3 times? And then you see it on her face as she realizes, he's not just a man. He's something else. And then at the end, after the betrayal and the kiss from Judas, Judas sings a little bit of her song. I don't know how to love him. He's just a man. And then we get to the end, and the crucifixion, and then everything sort of goes dark, and the movie is over. The play within the movie is over, and everyone slowly is getting back onto the bus, taking off their costumes, they're in regular clothes. We put on our show in the desert in Israel, now we're going back home. And do we ever see Ted Neely, Jesus Christ, do we ever see him get on the bus? I don't believe we see him in the string of well-known actors that we have met over the course of the show. We don't see him get on the bus. He could already be on the bus And this is where it's left to your belief and your doubt and your storytelling. Because the last person to get on the bus is Judas, Carl Anderson. And he looks up on a hill as the bus is leaving, and we see what he sees. One cross, not three. There were three, but now there's only one cross, with the sun behind it setting, and the cross is empty. So we see through Judas's eyes, played by Carl Anderson, that Ted Neely, the actor, and Jesus Christ, the Christ child, are not there. They're not on the cross. Are they in the bus or are they somewhere else? Getting ready for the resurrection. So we don't see the resurrection. We don't need the resurrection. We already know the story. And if we don't know the story, we don't need to know what comes next, because what comes next is what we're told. We're getting on the bus. The story's over. We've told everything we can. The cross is empty. There is a setting sun. And the bus leaves. The show is over. And the movie is over. So it's a very interesting story and a very genius way of telling a well-known idea and compressing it where you don't have to show every moment. You can just show the results. You can show the anticipation of the next thought. We know when we go into the movie theater, into the Broadway stage, that what we are seeing on stage is Jesus Christ, the superstar. That is a fact and evidence. So we don't need to see him being a superstar. And we don't. We see him just being this regular guy who's living a life. 30 years plus 3. And to some people who are strict, very firm believers, that bothers them. They want to see the miracles. They want it demonstrated. And for other people say, well, you could do it that way. And there are many movies that have been made with the miracles. Or you could tell it a different way, with facts and evidence, and then the things that maybe you don't think about as much. How he was in the form of a human being on earth, and they say repeatedly, King of the Jews, and what are you going to do? And the thing that interested me the most was this whole political judicial thing that was really something I didn't understand as a kid. Where you have the local priest saying, look, we have this problem with this Christ guy. He's causing a lot of trouble, and we got to get rid of him, but we don't have the authority to do what we need to do, and that's kill him. We have laws. We can indict him. We have a subpoena. But what are we going to do with him? Well, if we don't take care of it, Rome's going to take care of it. If we don't take care of it, they're going to come after us. We have to figure out what we're doing, or we're going to get blamed for it, and we're going to be killed. So then they indict him, send him to Pontius Pilate. Pilate says, what do you want me to do with you? I can't really get rid of him either. He hasn't broken any laws. He's getting a little too popular. I'll send him to King Herod. Herod will take care of it. So sends him to Herod. The big laugh part of the movie with the singing and the silly dancing. And then Herod says, if you're not going to show me who you are, I don't have anything to do with you. Go back to Pilate. Gets sent back to Pilate, gets his 39 lashes, dying. Pilate says, just admit that you're nobody, I'll let you go. And Jesus Christ, the man, says, well, it's already decided, so whatever you want to do with me, I don't care anymore, because this is happening. Well, then, okay, if that's what you want, put him on the cross. That was very interesting to me, to see the law of the time and who's going to take care of this problem that we have, this Nazareth thing coming through and having all these spectacular people following him. And they're singing and they're dancing and they're having fun, and we don't do that around here. That was the message of the story for me. Thought it was terrific. So 50 years ago, and almost everyone who was in that movie, Ted Neely's still alive, he's 72. Yvonne Elliman is still alive. Carl, unfortunately, died in 2004. I believe Josh Mostel is still with us. A life-changing event, a life-changing moment. And in some ways, we're all a part of it. We're all in this storytelling together. And it's become part of our history and part of our nature. And I'm very grateful we have this version of the Christ child that we can watch and observe and enjoy on a level that is not necessarily religious, but one of fulfilling the destiny of the human soul. And now we're going to take our final blood pressure break of the day. I will return in a moment. And we are back from break. I'm David Bowles. This is Bowles.tv. BOLES.TV television, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. Although tomorrow we're off. It is a sad day of reflection for me and the Jana Marie. Her beautiful mother died a few years ago on tomorrow's date, and so that is a day of reflection and reverence that we're going to share together. Still be around, but in a little bit of a different capacity. Now, hey, this Facebook alpha/beta we've been involved in has been a very interesting experience. And there are some updates and there's no updates, but here's the update that I have. Technically, as I understand it, the beta test ended on Friday. And you were supposed to, during the beta test, put up 2 NFTs each week. I went a little extra and did some interviews, question and answer interviews with several of my NFT artists, I think 6 altogether. Great success, wonderful opportunity. And for that beta test, I had a special wallet set up. There was a beta test wallet. And I don't know if the beta test is going to continue or not, but when the test was over, I was planning on taking all of, or most of, the assets in that test wallet and moving them over into my real wallet. And some of the artists that I was dealing with, I said, look, I will make a deal with you. I will either, pay you a agreed upon price for your NFT. I'll send it back to you, or we can make some other deal. And everyone but one artist said, just keep the NFT. I appreciate what you're doing. It was great to do a Q&A with you. So for the weekend, I was moving, as part of this test, this beta test, everything over from my old wallet to my new wallet. From my beta wallet to what I call my real wallet with all my stuff in it. And before I did that, I asked Facebook, I said, so what's going to happen? Because now I knew that one artist wanted their NFTs back. What's going to happen to that post with those NFTs attached where it says digital collection on it? And I got word back saying, well, what will happen is it will say, instead of digital collection, it will say this image is no longer part of this digital collection, which is very clunky to me. So I said, so if I, move the exact NFT token from the beta wallet to my real wallet and then attach my real wallet, will we still get that not part of this collection anymore because it's exactly the same NFT, but only in a different wallet? And I was told it's not going to make any difference. And then I asked, if it's not going to make any difference, can I go into my old Q&A, remove the current NFT that's no longer part of this wallet or whatever, and associate the new NFT, which is the same NFT, with my new wallet and save it? No, that won't work either. So what I may do, depending on how things work out, I may just repost the Q&As for some of the images that I had to move over. I didn't have to move over some of them I just left, but most of them I moved over into the new wallet. And I'll just repost the Q&A. That's what I'm thinking if we get to that point. So this is my Facebook page, and I just love how this is an NFT that I own. And this has a very interesting story with it that I won't go into. Oh, here's the big picture of it. This is the Last Supper with these sort of cultural devils who get a bad rep. So this artist is reimagining them as doing good things instead of bad things, which I just find terrific. And this is her creation of what the Last Supper would look like with these strange devilish people. And this has been in my banner on my main business page for several weeks. And then we just happened to do the Jesus Christ Superstar thing. This is a new lovely NFT from our friend Igba, who is an artist who lives in Russia, had to leave Russia. No one would hire him because he is a Russian with a Russian passport, so he had to accept defeat and move back to Russia. He's trying to survive. This he calls, I can click on it. He calls this Business Pharaoh, which I find very funny. And it does look like a pharaoh. And he likes drawing these very strange, very precise, sort of cartoony faces. And he does it all on his iPad. So, okay. Now here's where it gets really interesting. This is my page. I'm logged in as myself. You go to more. Let's see, we've done this before. And I don't like how they changed this either. I used to have 14,000 followers, and then a couple of years ago, they changed it all to not followers, but they've liked your page. And I have 6 following. I don't know what that means, really. So here you go to more. Keep going. And this was just here. What happened? Refresh. I just did this. It was fine. I checked it before we came back from the break. It was fine. But now it's not fine. Hey. It's not for everybody. Hey, Facebook, not for everybody. Okay, so it's not more. That's my mistake. I have to go all the way over here to the 3 buttons. And then I have to click on the 3 buttons. And I go down, 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 down to digital collectibles. I click on that, and hey, here we go. Manage wallets. Add a wallet. Connect a new wallet. So here are all of my NFTs now available for continued and ongoing celebration if the alpha/beta test continues and becomes ongoing. And these were all things that were in my test wallet that are now in my main wallet that may have messed up the original post. I don't know. And I admit that I'm the one who messed this up because I didn't fully understand how this was all going to work with the wallets. But that's why it's an alpha test. Because you just don't know what's going to happen. So I have a lot of content now, which should be a lot of fun. I don't know if I'll do Q&As again because that was a lot of work that was terrific and very rewarding. But the fact of not knowing if it would actually get published or not confuses me. Because posting under Chrome seems to work and then it doesn't work and then it does work. Posting under Firefox, which means I have to log in as a different person, does seem to work fine. Here's the other thing, the Div Guitarist by the same artist who did The Last Supper. And you click on that, let's say. You're supposed to get information about this. Where is it? Oh, I think the Facebook is having a slow internet day. Not so good when you're doing a live stream. Is there something else we can click on? Okay, here we go. Ian Jones. Click on it. Neo-expressionistic painting. Stream of consciousness painting. Owned by blockchain information. And then this is how then I click on this, I share to feed. Do it. So we're going to post this, and we're going to see if it works, because this is Chrome. We're going to see if it works. I can't get over how much I adore this frightening mask from the great artist Ian Jones. Click on the NFT to get more information. Meow. Information? Yes. Okay, I can't get over how much I adore this frightening mask from the great artist Ian Jones. Click on the NFT to get more information. Now I'm going to copy this because I have a fear this is not going to post, and I'll have to post it later. So at least if I have a copy, I won't have to retype it. Then you click on post. Okay. This is what it's supposed to do with the white screen. We'll let you know your post is ready. Posting. Now, we didn't used to get this screen on Chrome, and then I reported it because you get this on Firefox, and then it looks like they fixed it. But then I go back and post once, and it says it's fixed, and then it's not fixed. So it says it has been posted. Meow. We'll see. So we go to your profile. Sometimes it takes a minute or two to show up. I don't know why. Go to my profile. And now this is where we cross our fingers and toes and see if it's actually there or not. January. I think this is the fourth time that I posted this video of hers because every time it seems to get messed up in some way. It did not post. See? That's why we beta test. So now I'm going to have to redo it under Firefox, but I'll do that after the show is over. But I'm going to force a reload because sometimes it does take a minute or two. Like over the weekend, I reposted that Jana Marie video on Chrome. It did not show up. Waited half an hour, did not show up. Then I went Firefox, posted it, showed up. And then there were two. So it's like it did post, it double posted, but like it wouldn't post until the video was done playing. I don't know. It worked. Now, isn't that interesting? It doesn't post right away. When I post like a regular thing, it just posts. But when I do an NFT post, sometimes it shows up right away, sometimes it never shows up. Sometimes it takes a minute or two, I guess, for the back-end system to catch up, load, and be done. But it's here! And it says digital collectible, and we click on it to find out who we are and what we're doing here. Yay, and it worked. Oh, I'm so happy. What is a digital collectible? A digital collectible is a type of NFT, non-fungible token. This means it's unique, digital item that someone owns. Anyone can see who the true owner is. Yes, on a permanent digital record known as the blockchain, which is why we do it. Now, here's something else. If your NFT was minted on the Polygon network, it does not show up in this Facebook beta test. These are only Ethereum mainnet NFTs at the current time that get displayed and shown. And I unfortunately have a lot of Polygon NFTs that I didn't realize they were Polygon until it was too late. Like all of my Putin, my cute Putin stuff, Polygon. I have cute cartoon characters. Now see, look. Van Gogh Putin. That's hilarious. I also don't understand how these things get... Hey, Jackie. I don't know how these things get ordered. I don't question it, I just scroll. There's more Putin, fat Putin, chubby Putin, excuse me. Vampire Putin, I think is hilarious. I'm going to show you my cartoons, but... And they're the cutest cartoons ever that you would want, and you can't show them because they don't work. Because they're Polygon network. And then there's one, they had one that I bought on Ethereum, but it's not very cute. not comparatively speaking. Jigsaw Putin. I think that's my favorite Putin. That's terrifying. I think that's the real guy. These are the cartoons. See, these two aren't the cutest thing, right? Cute profile pic. Cute profile pic. A banner. Polygon. Twitter doesn't read Polygon. Facebook doesn't read Polygon. So what's the point of it all? Or this one you can read. It's this one. This one is also a Polygon. Very disappointing. So hey, what a show today. Talked about movies, talked about the World Trade Center falling. Whew. And we talked about NFT art and the future of the propagation and ownership of NFTs. It's very delightful stuff. Loved every moment of it. So tomorrow I'm off. Wednesday, back in the saddle again, as they say. Gene Autry and his friends. Hopalong Cassidy. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, you can email me, david@bowles.tv. On Twitter, we are David Bowles, with super follows to follow. Oh, Gordon says we'll miss you. That's very nice. We'll miss you too, Gordon. On Facebook, as you just saw, we are BOLES. Oh, the thanks didn't work. That's interesting. Oh, here, I've turned on my CloudBot. I turned off the CloudBot, Gordon. Give it 10 seconds. We'll do it again. On Instagram, oh, Dora says bye. Bye, Dora. On Instagram, we are Bowles Books. Yeah, it's my fault. I turned off the... See, now people's names, this used to say Streamlabs. So I hope that's fixed. But I forgot to turn it back on. So if you do it now, it should work. There we go. It still says Streamlabs. So it's still messed up. It's been off for an hour and a half. And then I say, exclamation point, day, I think. Says, thanks for having us. I say, see you in a day or two. I'll have more ideas for you. And Dora smiles, which is the right way to end the show. And if you're on Discord, hey, we're always happy to see you. Big conversations. If you ever miss out on anything, I post social media stuff, which I used to propagate the same thing across all social medias. I don't do that anymore. Now all my social media is a unique image with a unique phrase that you only see on that social network. So if you want it all together in one place, it gets put on our Discord server. Otherwise, you can just go poke around and see new stuff. So until next time, I wish you a wonderful nap, a great sleep, and when ye shall awaken, may your soul be filled with joy, and maybe, just maybe, a stray cat or two. I'll see you soon.